Welcome back to section 3 of chapter 9. So today we're going to learn how to solve quadratic equations where you do not have a bx term. So the only time you see the x is when it's getting squared. So you will do similar to what we did in the opener. The very first thing we're going to do is isolate the x squared. So get that alone. So here, 2x squared minus 64 is equal to 0. I'm going to add 64 to both sides and get 2x squared is equal to 64. And so now, in order to get the x squared alone, I'm going to divide both sides by 2. Now, I no longer need to see the simple steps in solving an equation, but I will often show this division step because this is where students make the most mistakes. I'm going to get x squared is equal to 32. Okay, so now I have something squared is equal to 32. So I'm going to solve this by taking the square root of both sides. And when I take the square root of both sides, I'm going to have to start accounting for there's going to be a potential positive answer and a potential negative answer. So I will now write x is equal to plus or minus the square root of 32. Now if I want to use technology to estimate the solution, what you do, you're not going to be able to do the plus or minus, but in my calculator I'm going to put in the square root of 32. So square root is in the blue above the x squared, so do that second button there and put in 32, and I'm getting 5 point, roughly rounded to 2 decimal places, is 5.66. So I would write the answer as x is equal to plus or minus 5.66. Don't forget the plus or minus in your solution, because there are going to be two solutions to quadratic equations. If this power is a 2, there'll be up to 2 real solutions. Now this down here shows when I use the Google calculator. Now over here, this is extra. This comes from a topic we did not learn because we skipped section, chapter 9, section 1. But I'm going to quickly go through it. If you're kind of done with the video, you can stop here. If you want to get a more exact solution, you can simplify the square root of 32. And the way you do this is ask, do you know any perfect squares that go into 32? 16 does. You can break a square root up at multiplication, so you can rewrite the square root of 32 as the square root of 16 times 2, and then you can break it apart at that multiplication and get this. And the reason I asked did you know any perfect squares is, you know the square root of 16 is 4. Not the square root of 4, it's just 4. So it's outside of the square root now, and you still have this. This solution that's written right here is called the exact solution, and you'll see me do that on a couple of problems coming up. But for now, and on your homework, you're going to be giving the technology estimate. So, okay.